Okay, next question is at microphone number 3.
Thank you, Chairman. ANZ has instructed 2 law firms to conduct independent investigations. Former Chairman David Gonski was a long-term partner in Herbert Smith Freehills. Our current Chief Legal Counsel, Ken Adams, who no doubt would have deep oversight of ANZ's failures and regulatory inquiries, was also a long-standing partner at Herbert Smith Freehills. To conduct this independent investigation, the board appointed Herbert Smith Freehills. Why did the board not consider these conflicts and select another law firm?
There are a number of firms, Craig, that we've engaged to help us in working on this. And actually, we're guided very much by where the relevant expertise and knowledge sits in terms of these matters. So that's what has guided us. And you know, it's a fairly finite market. So I'm pretty sure that whatever firm we work with, we'll find somebody at ANZ who's had an involvement with them.
I think those were 2 particular appointments, but thank you. And further to Paul Herman's comments on the UBS statistics, he said 2001. Actually, it was 6 months ending 31st of December 2021. It was reported in 2022. ANZ was reported as 55% of liar loans. I'm working with Paul and others to bring on a parliamentary inquiry into liar loans. It's not just ANZ, it's all banks. It's just in all but one survey, ANZ is the worst. In a separate survey showing multiples of income, ANZ customers also have the highest loan ratio versus income. These statistics should engender deep curiosity, if not alarm. In contradiction to Shane's comments that all loan incomes are verified, at the Royal Commission, we saw an ANZ employee said, "We do nothing." We saw those Sergeant Schultz comments, "I know nothing." In these respects, how many LAF, that's loan application file documents, does the auditor interrogate?
I have to perhaps take that question on notice because I actually don't know as you can imagine, I don't have that number off the top of my head.
Is the auditor here?
The auditor is here with the auditor. Maria, would you like to answer the question? So Maria Trincy is our auditor.
Thank you, Maria. And I mean, I don't mean look at a high level, I don't mean the systems that override it. I mean, how many loan application files do you look at intrinsically, particularly the income, because we see so many of these fraudulent files that have inflated incomes. Thank you.
To answer your question directly, when it comes to mortgage loans in Australia, we selected a sample of 35 direct. We also selected quality controls at a sample of 35 of those checks and a further quality assurance of 35. Thank you.
That's 3 lots of 35. Sorry, I'm not
That is correct. Thank you.
I'm not quite understanding if you
So there's independent testing of controls, so where we re-perform the test directly.
Yeah, I'm
that
not
is
talking
a
of
sample
controls.
of 35.
I'm talking of the
Correct,
actual content.
35.
So 35 loan application
Correct.
files. You've
Correct,
verified that the income
Correct,
stated
sir.
in there was correct or incorrect.
Correct, sir.
Thank you. And how many of those were not correct?
No exceptions, sir.
No exceptions. Something is very surprising.
And
there.
Craig, the loss rate on mortgages does not reflect some of those findings on misrepresentation. So look, we're always, as I said earlier, we have no incentive to lend to people who cannot afford to pay back. Quite the opposite. We would spend a lot of money and time acquiring that customer, and then we would have to expense the loss and write it off. So there is no incentive to do it.
I'm not making any assertions that you intend to do that.
Right.
Not at all. That's not your intention. Your intentions are pure. You want to do the right thing by customers. You support the economy. You support businesses and farmers and people like myself, etc. There's no implication that you intend to do something wrong. But it's a fact of life that various incentives that are out there, whether it's with brokers or whether it's in the bank, and of course a lot of these have been addressed with like the Sedgwick inquiry and other things. Banks are getting better now than what they used to be. That doesn't mean we don't have the legacy loans, like Paul Herman's, like mine, like others that are here, that have still got, you know, in my loan there's fraud. I've asked ANZ to look at the fraud, they said no. I've asked you to look at documents last year, you said no. I said I've got recordings of conversations, you've said no. These things are not being investigated properly.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you for your feedback.
I'll sit down now, but I have a couple of questions for directors, just so long as everyone else gets a go.
Okay, thanks Craig, thank you.